everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to episode number 5 of MyGM Mode here on WWE 2k22. Yes, this is episode number 5 again because last time, if you remember, I thought about rebooting this series by doing Raw instead. Well, I've kind of changed my mind and I'm going to go back to the SmackDown save that I had in this game just because, you know, I'd already started it and I don't like to just kind of drop things in the last second. So I did want to do SmackDown just because we had started it and I was kind of enjoying it and I just felt like the rosters were better and everything, so I decided to go back. So this is episode number 5. We are back with SmackDown and we're back with MyGM Mode for good. It's just better for me to have 2 series going on the channel. That way, you know, for instance, like right now I got 2 pay-per-views I got to put together for Universe Mode with Worlds Collide and Hell in a Cell. So a MyGM episode helps me just kind of, you know, get an episode out there. It just helps the second series go to keep you guys interested while you don't wait too long, hopefully, for the pay-per-views. Which, speaking of the pay-per-views, Worlds Collide will be premiering on Monday. So it will not be tomorrow. I need more time for it, so the pay-per-view will be on Monday. So if you're excited for that, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more WWE content as well as MyGM content. Now, it's been a while since we've been with this save. It's been 3 months to be exact. I checked it this morning. So I thought I'd give you guys a rundown as to where we've been, what's been going on. We've been through 3 shows here of SmackDown. And this is our roster. So we have Charlotte Flair and Kofi Kingston are our top 2 superstars. Charlotte Flair is the women's champion. Kofi Kingston is actually our Universal Champion. He beat Roman Reigns on the very first episode in a Hell in a Cell match for that championship. So they are our big 3. Then we also have Montez Ford, who I drafted as a singles. Kind of want to give him a chance as a singles guy. He's actually done pretty good. He's a 62 pop. He's got a couple of wins. He is 1-1 to his name, so he's actually been pushed pretty good. Then we do have Finn Balor. He was kind of going to be my heel number 2. You can see he's been vetoed for this week, so which means I can't use him thanks to Raw's power cards. And then we have Big E as well. He kind of goes hand in hand with Kofi. He's been getting in some of the action too. Randy Orton, the old veteran who has been mixing it up a little bit with Apollo Crews. Sasha Banks, who is our top face woman on the roster. Then I signed Dakota Kai last episode. She is a temporary for 4 more weeks. Our first signing. Just wanted to add some depth to that women's division. Chad Gable as well. A nice hand, a nice specialist who can get a good match going. Apollo Crews, Tony Storm, Raquel Gonzalez, Tamina, and Natalya round out our roster. Now, this is week 4, so this is our last show before our first pay-per-view, WrestleMania Backlash, and I think you get 4 matches per pay-per-view. So the 4 matches I'm going to go with is Kofi Kingston versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Reigns will get his rematch. I did promise him that, so we will see that at the pay-per-view. Charlotte Flair will defend the title against Natalya. Natalya in episode number 2 won a number 1 contenders match, so she will get the opportunity to face Charlotte Flair at the pay-per-view. Then I'm also thinking of doing Finn Balor versus Big E because we've seen some run-ins between those 2, so I think getting them on the card will be nice. And I think the 4th match will be Orton versus Apollo Crews one-on-one. Get them. Their rematch gets Orton on the card, and I think that's what we're going to shoot for, and that's what we're going to build towards today. Unfortunately, we have not been doing good. Raw's been doing better than us in the rings just because, you know, they put on the same WWE Championship match every single week, but I digress about that one. We have a bigger budget, though. We do have a couple power cards I do need to get into using. I'm going to use a couple of them this week, I think, to kind of maybe sway the things in our favor, like Birth of Legends. I need to give 6 random superstars in your roster will have a popularity increase of 6. That would be nice, and I think I need to take advantage of those, as well as maybe like the Instigator, maybe giving a rivalry a bump going into the pay-per-view will be nice. As far as promises, we have this one in progress. Roman Reigns will have an exclusive title rematch against Kofi Kingston at the pay-per-view. And then Kofi Kingston and Big E work well together as a team. I wonder why they do. And then Dakota Kai has a couple more weeks under contract. And our commissioner goal for this week is do not put Roman Reigns in a match this week, which is unfortunate because that was the idea. So I can't put Roman Reigns in a match. And Finn Balor's been vetoed, so there goes my top 2 number ideas. So I got to get kind of creative this week in terms of the show. But I'll go ahead and start booking the show, and I'll see you guys once I get it taken care of. So last thing, I will use this Birth of the Legends power card this week. Give 6 random superstars a boost, and let's see who gets it. So Tamina gets 6, Dakota Kai gets 6. I couldn't really tell who that was. Montez Ford gets 6, and Randy Orton gets 6, and so does Sasha Banks. So it was Finn Balor and Tamina who got it. Well, I can't use Tamina and Finn this week anyway, but got a couple of +6s for a couple superstars. Maybe I can use that to my advantage. Alright, so I've gone ahead and booked the show for this week. Here's what I have in mind. First off, we're going to see Toni Storm go 1-on-1 against Sasha Banks. Hopefully give Sasha a win back in the win column. Self-promo from Natalya, just going to give her a chance to kind of talk herself up and prepare for her title match at the pay-per-view. Apollo Crews will face Chad Gable 1-on-1, and Randy Orton will run in and cost Apollo Crews in that matchup. Also want to get Montez Ford on the show, so he's got a chance to do a little bit of charity and maybe gain a little bit of popularity for him, keep the ball rolling with Ford. And our main event is going to be Dakota Kai versus Charlotte Flair. Just going to give Charlotte Flair a chance to showcase herself, hopefully beat Dakota Kai and have some momentum going into the pay-per-view. So let's go ahead and confirm this booking, and we will get on with our show. Alright, so let's start to get into the action. I am going to spectate the matches. That's usually what I do, so we'll see what goes ahead and happens. So we'll start off with Toni Storm versus Sasha Banks. Alright, so we're here in the CWC in San Francisco, California. We have upgraded our quality a little bit, no longer in a high school gym or anything, or a ballroom, I guess. So here's our first match of the night. Toni Storm making her way to the ring first. We've seen Toni Storm once, and last episode she did pick up a big win. Her and Dakota Kai teamed up and beat the Monsters team of Tamina Snuka and Raquel Gonzalez. So a big win for Toni Storm last week. So I thought maybe a chance to upgrade the competition might be good for her, and she definitely has a chance tonight against this woman right here, our top babyface on the roster. It is the boss herself. Sasha Banks makes her way to the ring. I had hoped that Sasha would win the match a couple weeks ago and be the #1 contender for the Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair at the pay-per-view, but it was not the case. So this is a chance for Sasha Banks to get back in the win column, get a win, a much-needed win against Toni Storm, and if potentially go towards setting up the next challenger in the women's division. While this match might not have any, say on the title match this Sunday, there's always the next pay-per-view to look at, and this match could go a long way in determining who will be the next challenger, especially if Charlotte Flair does knock off Natalya. But Sasha Banks, one of our more popular women, got to get her on the show, and she will have the chance tonight and what should hopefully be a pretty good match. I'm hoping this one gets a pretty good show, and we get ready for first match. It'll be Toni Storm versus Sasha Banks here to kick it off, and we are underway. So both superstars meet in the center ring. Looks like it is Toni Storm who's getting the upper hand early on the boss, with Sasha Banks fighting back out of it. Like I said, both women trying to set up in the women's division. It's pretty wide open. Like, we know Charlotte Flair is the champion. We know Natalya is the next in line. But after that, it doesn't really... We don't know who's the third in the pickings. We thought it was Sasha, but she did lose to Natalya. So, that spot could be open here for Toni, who did pick up a win in that tag match last week in the women's division. So Toni Storm is, doing a good job of trying to set herself up nicely to be that next woman in line as her and Sasha go to the outside. Toni's been in all control in the early part of this matchup, as Sasha Banks looking to fight back and slams Toni Storm on the outside. As now Sasha Banks looks to take control, and there's a nice knee to the back and then a neck breaker for good measure, and the boss gets back into this matchup. Sasha Banks now sends Toni across the ring as the referee's count is on. This is a count out. Not entirely sure the numbers yet, but they are going to be counted out if they continue this up. With Sasha Banks, though, trying to use the outside to get a little bit more offense, get a little bit more pressure on that back that Toni Storm just took a knee into. As Toni Storm does fight out of the hold. Now Toni looking to take it back to Sasha. Sasha ducks, moves Toni around, thinking something from behind, and sets her up. And hits her with a bulldog on the outside. So Sasha Banks using the environment well to continue to inflict damage on her opponent. And now sends Toni Storm back across. And now she's going to make her way into the ring. Maybe get a little bit of separation. As it looks like there is no count out, so this match will continue. Sasha maybe just wanted a quick breather then. As Toni starts to get back to her feet. Sasha's there and hits a nice discus right hand. That'll drop Toni Storm to the outside. Now Sasha firmly in control of this matchup. This is a big step up in competition for Toni. This isn't, not to say anything against Raquel or Tamina a week ago, but Sasha Banks, former women's champion, multi-time women's champion, main event at WrestleMania. So, a big step up. Get yourself a statement win, but it comes at trying to knock off the boss. As Toni Storm meets Sasha, she gets back in the ring. Nice German suplex. That'll help you out. As Toni Storm looks to get back in this matchup. A nice knee there will move Sasha to the mat. Toni Storm's done a very good job inside the ring. Sasha Banks dominated her on the outside of the ring, but Toni now inside of the ropes is taking it once more to the boss. Couple of stomps there on that left hand. Maybe not allowing her to try to lock in the bank statement. So pretty good strategy here from Toni. Just going to go to it again because why not? If it's working out, you might as well continue to stomp on the hand. Not allow her to lock in that submission maneuver. Now Toni does get Sasha back to her feet. Snapmares her down and just, I guess, a couple of hip attacks to the face. Not entirely sure how effective that is, or more just a showboating strategy, but Toni Storm seems to find it effective. Now going to go up to the top rope. Sasha Banks in the drop zone. Nice frog splash there by Toni. This could be a big upset here. Gets two, but Sasha Banks does kick out in time. And Toni Storm looking to continue the momentum. Now wraps up the boss. Trying to make her submit in the center of the ring. Sasha Banks ropes nowhere really close. You got to fight out of it, and it looks like she will. She flips over, kicks Toni off her, but you can see the damage to the leg. Sasha buckled there for a second as she tries to get back in this matchup. Now looking for that neck breaker. She hits the bankrupt. Toni Storm now in some trouble. Sasha goes for the cover, gets two, but Toni kicks out at 2.5 with Sasha Banks staying on the offense. Gets Toni Storm up, hits her with a nice roundhouse kick to the face, drop down to the mat, and I think she could be setting her up. Yes, she is. Locks in the bank statement, center of the ring. Is that damage, though, to the left hand going to be an issue? Toni Storm nowhere to go. Sasha Banks wrenching and wrenching, but Toni Storm pulls the grip. Maybe that offense on that hand did play a factor, able to loosen the hold, and Toni Storm stays in this matchup. But Sasha Banks, another DDT, drops Toni Storm again to the mat, now trying to go for another cover, trying to put Storm away, gets two, but Toni Storm refuses to go down. Sasha Banks showing a little bit of frustration now as she climbs to the top rope, going to try to hit a splash of her own, but Toni Storm rolls out of the way, and now working away on that left arm again. Toni Storm could be setting her up for the finish. Nice suplex there. Doesn't hold the bridge. But Sasha Banks now in some trouble. Just gave it her best shot. Gave it her all there. And wasn't able to pick up the win. Now Toni Storm dragging Sasha over. Going to try to go for a pin. I think she had the positioning anyway. And it allows Sasha to kick out at 1. As now Toni wrenching the neck. Maybe looking to slow down this matchup. Ground Sasha a little bit. She did just have that jerk of adrenaline, that momentum. Now Toni Storm trying to take it away. Waits for Sasha to get back to her feet, but Sasha's going to fight out of it. Going to look to stay alive here, create some separation, but catches the kick, and now Toni fires back with a couple of strikes of her own. The boss looks like she's blocking, but not all the strikes, as there's that left arm again. Toni Storm doing a very good job at pinpointing her offense, focusing on that joint. And now has Sasha propped up in the corner. But Banks will fight out. Trying to fight out of the corner, trying to back her up. But every single time Sasha gets some strikes, Toni counters. Now has double underhooks and flips her over for a powerbomb. Toni Storm, big time maneuver there on Sasha, trying to draw her away from the ropes. Nice veteran awareness to kind of roll towards the ropes, as this is creating a lot of time lost for Toni Storm. A lot of time to drag her to the ring. But will it matter? Sasha down into the cover goes. Storm gets two. And Sasha at the last second gets that right shoulder up. I think it was all that time that Toni might have wasted. And will it come back to bite her? She's going to flip Sasha over. More of these hip strikes to the face of Sasha. I don't know if this is necessarily the best strategy, but it looks like it's a little effective. As Toni maybe celebrating, maybe showboating a little too much. Well, now she flips over here with Sasha, has her up on her shoulders, knee right into the back of the neck. That could be a devastating shot. And now Sasha Banks motionless in the ring, now starting to get to her feet. Toni Storm already on the top turnbuckle. It hits a nasty looking, I guess, shotgun drop kicks. Not sure if she got all of that, but she's going to go for the cover anyway. Sasha has not moved. Gets 2, and Toni Storm does get the victory. A big win here for Storm over Sasha. Sasha Banks goes down again. Not entirely sure what's been going through the boss, but that's a huge win for Toni Storm. He picks up the second win here in the series. Looking strong is Toni Storm. How about that? As she might be the next in line for the Women's Championship coming out of the pay-per-view. Big time win. Big time upset, I would say, for Toni Storm. And Sasha Banks, where does she go from here? So the match does get 1.5 stars. It was disappointing. So that's rather disappointing, as we just can't seem to lock in any good matches, so to speak. So Toni Storm is our winner. Next up, we have the self-promo from Natalya, and it looks like it was a weak promo, so at -1, Natalya doesn't have the best mic skills, but I was hoping for a little bit of something there. I am kind of restricted on this card with all the superstars I can't use. And the next match, it was the run-in, Apollo Crews versus Chad Gable. Orton's going to run in and cost Apollo Crews the match. Actually, Apollo Crews is your winner, I'm assuming by disqualification, and it was a 1.5 match, so another disappointing encounter. Hopefully Montez Ford can bring us up with a charity promo, and it was weak. So Montez Ford couldn't even deliver a good promo, but he did gain us 5,000 fans, so I thought that's pretty good. But now it's time for our main event, Dakota Kai versus Charlotte Flair. So this is the big opportunity for Dakota Kai in our main event, signed just last week to the roster, and now 2 weeks later she is in our main event going one-on-one against the women's champion as Captain Dakota, captain of Team Kick, she likes to call herself, looking to make a name for herself in the short time here on SmackDown. As we talked about in the last match, Toni Storm got the big win over Sasha Banks. She could be next in line, but if you beat the champion, I mean, that's going to send you right to the front. So Dakota Kai with a massive opportunity tonight, taking on Charlotte Flair. But she is the queen. She is the opportunity, she likes to say. And more importantly, she is the SmackDown Women's Champion. So Charlotte Flair, beating her is easier said than done. I mean, there is nothing that this woman has not done. Most championship reigns of anybody in WWE, main evented WrestleMania, performed in Hell in a Cell. I mean, Charlotte Flair has done it all. And she looks to continue her dominance, taking on Dakota Kai. Charlotte Flair does call herself, like I said, the opportunity, and this is what she's talking about. She gives Dakota Kai, in her mind, a big opportunity tonight to make a name for herself. So I'll have to see if Dakota Kai can take advantage, or will Charlotte continue to reign supreme. I mean, he gets the pyro, gets it all, gets the jackets, gets the main event spot. And I mean, for good reason. She is the queen. And we get ready for our main event contest here on SmackDown. It is Dakota Kai versus Charlotte Flair as we get underway. Dakota Kai coming out of the gate early. Captain of Team Kick using those kicks to good use and hits a nice float over neck breaker there on Charlotte Flair. Dakota Kai very fired up for this matchup. And like we said, a big opportunity for her tonight to knock off the women's champion as continues to use her legs. I think every single shot so far from Kai has been with the legs. Now quickly going to go to the top rope and land down on the abdomen of Charlotte Flair. Nice little bit of offense here, looking to cap the champ by surprise. Gets 2, but Charlotte does kick out in time. But Dakota Kai, early on, I think Charlotte Flair a little bit like scatterminded. I mean, she doesn't know what to expect. Dakota Kai now perched up on the top rope, waiting for Charlotte to get up, and hits a nice missile drop kick. Dakota Kai, early looking strong, taking it to the champ. Hasn't allowed her to get a single bit of offense in this match. Now a kick to the back of the neck and another one to the kick of the back of the neck. Dakota Kai, where is this coming from? Charlotte Flair hasn't even been able to get out of the box. More stomps to the abdomen. Well, Dakota Kai, how about you? She has a 7-week contract, or has a 4-week contract. She says, I don't got a lot of time to waste. And she's looking to make the most of it. If she continues this up, we'll have to give her another contract. As now she gets another cover on Charlotte. And Charlotte weakly gets the shoulder up. So Dakota Kai, very early on, taking it to the champ. Is now looking to even get back to her feet is Flair. And there's another kick. Flair back up. Dakota Kai, another kick. There's a scorpion kick. And now Dakota Kai using her feet to perfection. I mean, stick with what got you to the dance. Flair up on her shoulders. And another kick right to the face. Flair in trouble. Could this be enough to get the huge upset? Trying to drag her away from the ropes. Charlotte Flair has not moved. Now going to go for the cover. Ref there in position. Gets 1, 2. But Charlotte Flair gets the shoulder up. Dakota Kai thought that was 3. And this offensive flurry. Now Charlotte Flair a kick to the face. Trying to get back in this matchup. But Dakota Kai continues to have control. But now Flair fighting out of her grip. Can Flair get any sort of offense? I don't think she's hit any offensive maneuver in this match. Now, though, has her up for a suplex. There it is. Charlotte Flair connects with her first bit of offense. And now a couple of shots. But Dakota Kai still trying to use those kicks. But that's a hard right hand from Flair. Now Flair going to use the chops. That's what got her to the big dance. As now Flair looking to get back in this matchup. That is why she is the champ. It doesn't matter what you throw at her, she's going to bounce back as there's Snake Eyes in the corner. Dakota Kai now down seated and Flair stomping away at the challenger. And Charlotte Flair looks like she has withstood the early offense. Now looking to get some offense of her own. Maybe give herself a little bit of a breather as well. As that was a lot of offense sustained from Dakota Kai. Now just a slap across the face. I don't think Charlotte also took very kindly to that offense. Maybe felt a little bit disrespected, or maybe a little bit embarrassed that she allowed that to happen in such the early part of this contest. As now both superstars on the outside. We saw the outside come into play in the opening contest. And Charlotte Flair works away on Kai out there. Dakota Kai looking to get back into it. Knee to the midsection. Create a little bit of separation. Now in control. And Charlotte bounces off the announce table. Right off of that move. And then just gets hit with the Bulldog on the outside. Dakota Kai. I mean, she's done a lot of damage. Charlotte Flair. You can't allow Kai to get any more. If you do, that could be game over. As now Kai quickly into the cover. This to put away the champ. Gets 1. But Charlotte Flair does kick out at 1. As Dakota Kai looking to line Flair up. Maybe she's thinking the end. Does she have something else in mind? Well, right hand will drop the champ. And now Kai looks like she's going to go the outside climb at the turnbuckles again. And goes for the big elbow drop right as Charlotte Flair is getting up. That's going to do a lot of damage to the lower back. I mean, you're getting up and an elbow right into the spine. And, I mean, I'm just kind of stunned. Dakota Kai. All this offense, more kicks, more strikes, a step up Insecurity as well. Now asking Charlotte Flair to get back to her feet. Dakota, is this it? Trying to wear down Charlotte. Boy, if you can get her to tap, that would be something. But Charlotte Flair, she's not going to tap right now. She powers out. And trying to get back in now has Dakota Kai up on her shoulders. And drops her down face first into the mat. Flair needs to get some offense, get back into this one. I think she's setting up for figure 8 here. Flair's going to go for it. She's going to lock in the figure 4 and maybe bridge into the figure 8. Yes, she does. This could be the blow. Did Dakota Kai give too much of an opening for Charlotte? Kai trying to fight it, trying to withstand the pain. And it looks like she will break the hole. So Dakota Kai does get out of the figure 8. Well, we talked about Dakota Kai giving it her best shot early. I think that might have been Charlotte Flair's shot to try to just put this one away, knowing that she's in a lot of danger. As now Kai continues the offense, as Charlotte Flair couldn't get it done with her patented submission. And boy, this would be a big loss for Charlotte Flair, just days away from your title defense against Natalya. Maybe she overlooked Dakota Kai going into this contest, but there's a big boot that sends Kai straight to the mat. Quickly into the cover, gets 2 and gets 3. Flair puts away Dakota Kai. How about the showing, though? But it is the Queen who reigns supreme going into the pay-per-view. Well, it was all Dakota Kai early, and I honestly thought she was going to put her away. I mean, all this offense, I thought Charlotte Flair just might have underestimated her opponent a little too much, but that is why she is the champ. You face situations like that, and you still come away victorious. And let's see, that match got us 2, so our best match of the night, but still only 2 stars, still only mediocre. That's not what we are looking for. So that wraps up our show. Let's see what Raw did. Let's see, you start off with Becky Lynch versus Bayley in an Extreme Rules match with a Dana Brooke run-in, because, you know, why not have the same guys go at it week after week after week. And it looks like Bayley did knock off Becky Lynch in that in a 3.5 great match. So despite the interference, they just put on a heck of a match. Shayna Baszler had a chance to do a self-promo of her own. It was good, so apparently Shayna can cut better promos than Montez Ford, but I digress. Damian Priest versus Otis in the mid-card in a tables match, so another special stipulation match, and it was Otis who picked up the victory and what got a mediocre for them. Then it looks like Lana calls out Shayna Baszler, looking to bring up that rivalry, and it was good, so Lana apparently can also cut a promo. And in the main event, it was Kyle O'Reilly and Triton. I don't know who Triton is. It looks like he's just somebody that they needed for this matchup against Joaquin Wilde and Elias. So a great main event, I would say, for Raw. As I'm being sarcastic, as well as Wilde and Elias pick up the victory. Even that got mediocre. So you're telling me that main event was better than Sasha Banks versus Toni Storm, or better than Apollo Crews versus Chad Gable? I call cap, but it is what it is. And Raw once again destroyed us in this week's show. So that is unfortunate for us. As you can see, we do get a little bit of revenue, though. We did gain some fans, and we do get a power card. So we did get the Veto Star. You successfully accomplished the commissioner's goal, so hopefully we can use that to our advantage as well. But we're still behind Raw. Now we're down about 40,000 fans, as John Cena is their champ. Becky Lynch is also their champ, but Becky Lynch did just lose. But I think that was the final show going into our first pay-per-view of, yes, WrestleMania Backlash. And let's see, with Triple H, Sasha versus Tony, it's okay to match up rule breakers against each other or to have a contest between the fan favorites. Just be aware that your audience will respond best to rule breakers versus fan favorites. Yes, I know, but I was also very handicapped this week, so there's really not much I could have done there. Sometimes you have to put on matches that stray away from that formula, like I did this week. But remember that it's a formula for a good reason. All right, thanks, Triple H. Apollo Crews, that loser at Orton attacked me during that last fight. I'm not going to stand for garbage like that. I want to settle things in the ring with him within the next 3 weeks. Well, you are going to get that opportunity. So, yeah, sure thing is you'll have a match against him actually this week. So, hope you are ready for it, Apollo Crews. But, yes, we get 4 matches for the pay-per-view. That is what is next. As you can see, the logistics here still behind Raw in the rankings, but we do have more money, so maybe I can start using that money to use, maybe start putting on some good matches to outshine Raw and get us back in this fight. That's going to do it for this episode of MyGM Mode. Next one will be a pay-per-view, so I got a lot to do in the next couple of days. I got to put together Worlds Collide, I got to put together Hell in a Cell, and then I also got to put together this pay-per-view, call this one live, which is going to be a long show. So fortunately, I do have a lot of time this weekend, but that probably means no video tomorrow. So I hope you guys are not too upset with that. I need that extra day to start putting this content together, because if I'm doing these 2 series, I'm not going to have a video out tomorrow. But I hope you guys enjoyed the return of MyGM Mode. Maybe we can bring this back and also bring a conclusion, as we only have 15 weeks and we are on week 5. So we're about a third of the way done already. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop that like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more MyGM content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.